The World Cup round of 16 is one of the most dangerous rounds in the tournament. If you bet the wrong round 16 game on the under, you're going to be done in 60 minutes. But there is one round 16 matchup profile where under 3.5 goals hits 88% of the time historically. It's when two of the tournament's most defensive teams meet in the same knockout match. And in the new 48-team format, this matchup type happens more often than ever because more defensive-minded teams survive the group stage. I'm going to walk you through the one easy filter that identifies these matchups, and the math behind why they lock down at 88%, and how you could spot them on the morning of the 4th of July. The round of 16 is a strange middle ground in the World Cup. It's not group stage, where the talent gaps produce predictable outcomes. It's not the quarterfinals and beyond, where tactics tighten and games slow to a crawl. Round 16 sits in between, with meaningful gaps between teams still on the board, but also with knockout stakes that push weaker teams into desperation football. The result is a round that produces some of the wildest goal-fest matches of the tournament, alongside some of the tightest 0-0 tactical battles. Betting round 16 unders unfiltered is roughly a 65% proposition historically. Not enough edge to be interesting once the VIG is priced in. The blowout risk in round 16 is real and specific. When a top 5 attacking team draws a mid-tier opponent with a leaky defense, the game turns into a highlight reel. Portugal against Switzerland in 2022 finished 6-1. Brazil against Korea 4-1. Those matches lose the under before halftime. If you're going to bet round 16 unders, you have to be surgical. You have to identify the specific matchup profile where the math actually flips in your favor. That profile is two defensive DNA teams meeting each other. And the 2026 format has produced more of these matchups than any previous World Cup because more pragmatic teams now survive group stage. And here's how to find them. The math behind defensive team unders in round 16 is structural. Certain teams enter every World Cup with an identity built around not conceding. They play compact shapes. They defend deep. They limit opposition chances. They rely on set pieces, counterattacks, and clinical finishing rather than sustained pressure. Morocco at the 2022 World Cup was the archetype. They conceded 5 goals across 7 matches, made it to the semifinal, and turned every match into a tactical grind. Croatia has been that team at multiple tournaments. Uruguay, Switzerland, Denmark, Japan, and Costa Rica in specific tournaments have all played the same style. When two of these teams meet each other in a knockout match, the game becomes a defensive battle by mutual agreement. Neither team wants to concede first. Neither team commits enough numbers forward to consistently threaten. Chances come from set pieces and errors rather than sustained attacking sequences. Historical data shows when two defensive DNA teams have met in round 16 across the 2014, 2018, and 2022 World Cup, under 3.5 hit at 88 to 92% of the time. The full-time goal totals across those matches averaged just 1.9 goals per game. Some finished 0-0, some 1-0, and some 2-1. Very few cross the line of 3.5. The books know this, and they price under 3.5 short on these matches, typically from minus 280 all the way up to minus 600. But the price rarely pushes far enough to eliminate the edge. When true probability is 88 to 92%, you still have a reliable edge that can produce a sustainable profit. Now here's the filter to be able to identify those matches. Now let's go ahead and get down to the one filter that is going to be able to identify which match you take under 3.5 goals. Now, one thing I do want to state before we get into this right here is an alternate line, okay? Most sports books are going to price this at probably 2.5, okay? You need to do the alternate goal here, which is 3.5. Now, what we're looking for here is two teams that have defensive DNA for this tournament. So how do we find that out? How do we find which of these teams have the best defensive DNA? It's very simple, actually. All we do is take the two teams that are going against each other, and we want to see the percentage of the time they have went over 3.5 goals this tournament, whether it be group stage or the round of 32. We want both teams to have 75% or better in the World Cup for under 3.5 goals. It's really that simple, okay? You just want to identify the teams. Both of them need to meet this criteria, though. Both teams need to have went under 3.5 goals in 75% or better of the matchups that they've had in the World Cup. Let's go ahead and run through an example of that so that way you guys can see. All right, so first let's go and use Mexico versus England, okay? Mexico has went through 100% of their games in the World Cup have went under 3.5 goals. Now, England has went under 3.5 goals in 75% of their matchups in the World Cup. So this matchup right here is meeting our criteria right here of 75% or better for both teams that have a defensive DNA in this World Cup to go under 3.5 goals. Now, if you guys don't want to sit there and actually go through this manual work of finding these matchups for the round of 16, all you have to do is use the Linemaker AI and ask for the best bets for under 3.5 goals that go through that filter. And it'll spit it out for you within seconds, so that way you don't have to waste any time doing any manual work. If you guys want a trial to start the Linemaker AI, make sure you click the link in the description. Let me show you guys exactly how to find this on kalshi, so that way you can see how easy it is really to come up with them. So if we go main page here, we go to sports, we're going to click on that. And we're going to go to soccer, and then we'll go to World Cup. Now World Cup, we're going to look at the round of 16 games, which are these right here. All you would do is click the matchup market right here in the corner. It's going to show this, and then next thing you know, you come down here where it says regular time over under goals, okay, and you move that needle right there to 3.5, and you would select no on that aspect. Okay, this is the same process literally for every single one of these matchups. So if we go back and we look at that once again, go to a different matchup, you would go to the markets, click on markets, you go regular time. Remember, regular time, this means this doesn't count extra time or anything like that. Okay, this is just within the 90-minute mark and the stoppage time, pretty much. That's it. You move that needle over to 3.5, you select no, and you go up here and you put in your price of how much you want. It's that simple. Okay, that is an alternate line. That is how you move the alternate line, because 2.5 is going to be your base number probably for most of these games, but this is how you're going to be able to move it to that 3.5 threshold that you want. Cup has provided massive value this year, with opportunities to make a ton of money and hit at such a high percentage. So if you guys have enjoyed the World Cup videos that I have provided for you guys, make sure you guys click that like button, and also make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because I have plenty more of strategies that win at a high percentage that you will get updated with as soon as I put them out. As always, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.